How's everybody doing today?
Moo.
My name is Kyle Fulber.
My name is Moose.
And we are My Senses Consensus.
That's right.
Now, today we have a little fun episode for you. Obviously, we've got an episode today called the Alberta Independent News. Why we decided to call our episode that is because, we went over censorship, we went over overreach, and we thought, you know what, we need to focus right here in Alberta today, okay, because what we care about is the election in October. And, one of the kids said to us, hey, make sure you guys fix your hair, you won't get famous. We said, we don't want to get famous. All we want is for the election to go as planned, and that is for Alberta to be free again, all right? I know it sounds crazy, but that's all we want. We just want Alberta to be free again, but we do wish the same. I have to, reiterate that. We do wish the same for every province, every place that isn't free right now. Anyone who's, under the scrutiny, we care about you. And one other thing, if you're still listening to this podcast and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, okay, I'm just going to ask you one simple question. What are you waiting for, okay? Are you waiting for an invitation from Mark Carney himself? Trust me, he's busy selling the rest of the Canada to the highest bidder, all right? You know that old Calgary legend? I wish we could just say, Carney, come here, here's a horse, here's a gun with no bullets, and go. But you know what? We can't do that to Carney, unfortunately, but we could do it to Kenny, right?
Oh.
So we could tell Kenny, here's a horse, here's a gun with no bullets, head north to none of it because we want none of you.
Well, the problem with Kenny is I don't think he could ride a horse.
Yeah, well, he might be going through a transition. I mean, we can't really say, right? So
That's right.
he's definitely not a conservative. We know that.
That's right. So this week in Alberta, there's been some interesting news come out. Danielle Smith has signed a new agreement with the U.S. government for 550,000 barrels of oil a day, bypassing the old KXL pipeline, Keystone pipeline rather, and going directly down through into the States. And Mark Carney doesn't seem to have anything to say about it. But, even with that being as it is, and the Alberta government touting that as being a wonderful thing, where's all the money going to go to? Well, Daniel Smith says, the Alberta government will get about half of the royalties, and the Canadian government will get about half of royalties. I don't want to give half to the Canadian. I want to put just like Trump put the kibosh on the Strait of Hormuz, I want to put the kibosh on the rest of the country so that it stays here. If you want to negotiate a new deal with me, it's going to be on our terms.
Well, I guess
I think my term is really just one term.
Yeah.
Get lost. We're going independent.
Well, maybe Danielle Smith figured she had to do that deal because you know what? Canada's not going to even give us that deal. So I guess we had no choice, in her eyes, right?
My hair okay still? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you look like $1 million.
All green and wrinkled.
Yeah. So, we got to talk about all these things that have been happening. One thing I want to just quickly mention for some Alberta news, did anyone get to see Pierre downplaying us on Joe Rogan, right? He was downplaying our movement. Oh, that won't happen, he said, right? Yeah. Wasn't he born here? But he's obviously an Ottawa elite now.
Carney was born here.
Yeah, Carney was born here?
Edmonton.
You got
St. Albert.
Oh yeah, that's how he helped the Oilers.
Talk about traitors, eh?
Yeah. Well, you know what? People care about themselves, and when you don't have God as your leader, then they think of themselves as gods. You see?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But yeah, I didn't really appreciate, Pierre downplaying us when we're the only ones fighting for freedom. I also don't appreciate how Pierre can't, talk about vaccines, food. What was it that Joe Rogan brought up that he says, oh, I didn't know about that? And it's like, yeah, you did. Watch the podcast. You'll know what we're talking about. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Let's get into some of the nonsense. Bill C-4 was a lie. They're saying it's going to make life more affordable for families here in Canada. Another lie. Didn't Trudeau already do that to you? But you fell for it again. But it doesn't matter because you don't get to vote in Canada. That's why we're doing Alberta independence, because we're, like Danielle Smith is setting us up up for a vote here in October, voting on immigration, voting on our choices. This is what it's supposed to be. That's a proper democracy, people, when you get to vote on your future. They've taken that away from us.
Are those just distractions? Is that the media distracting us and the politicians distracting us from the real issue?
Yeah, so they can pass more nonsense through, like Bill C-9.
They're distracting everybody and say, oh, you got to vote for this. Oh, you got to support that pipeline. Oh, you got to do that. Who for? Well, right now it's for them, not for us.
Yeah.
So we need to get things first. First, we get independence.
Yes.
Then we can deal with all those other issues. Do you think immigration is a big issue? 92% of the people already agree that we should control immigration. So do we need a referendum on that?
Well, we shouldn't have to, but we have to. You know why? Because right now we're operating on an elite consensus where we need a consensus of the people.
Well,
right?
The elite consensus is here. Let's make a list of 47 different items for you to vote on. None of them include independence for Alberta right now. What's that, a distraction? Yeah, they're distracting and say, look what we're doing, all the good things we're doing. But we're not taking care of the structure. We're not taking care of Alberta. Alberta First. You're not putting Alberta first if you're giving half of everything you make to Ottawa.
They just want us all to look through the partisan lens.
Is that Alberta First?
No.
And then they turn around and say, well, hey, you're treasonous.
Yeah, they're smearing people by association, right?
Exactly.
It's absolute ridiculous what's going on, right?
Then they try to intimidate you. If I could speak, it'd be really a big deal, right? Anyway, they try to intimidate you by bringing the police in every time you turn around.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the convoy, right? Did Daniel Smith or Kenny do anything good for the convoy? No, they stood back and put them in jail. Did they do anything good about the bills that are going through, that went through C4, C9, C6?
No, that C9
nothing.
drives me nuts.
They did nothing. They stood back, and did Pierre Poilievre do anything about that? No.
Because he's a little puppet for them too.
Judgment Singh do anything about it? No.
Don't even get me started on him. He sold out his own people.
You know what I think of the New Democrat Party? I think every time the Liberals want something, and it's a close vote, the Democrats cross the floor so fast that they stack the tile up behind them. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Jagmeet Singh because I've been to India and I love the people in India, so spiritual, and I love the immigration when people come from India that are spiritual and they care about their family and they care so much. And honestly, I've been there, so I love all you people in India. I mean, I can't wait to come back and visit you. But I'll tell you, when I seen Jagmeet Singh not even answering questions from his elders with turbans, and those are some of the most respectful people in the culture, you knew right there that this guy was working for Satan. Because if he was working for God, like he was a wolf in sheep clothing, but he lied to his own people. And we're having the same thing happen with Trudeau and Carney to us. So we're all affected. So no matter what ethnicity you are, Alberta independence is for everybody. It's for all of us together. And, together we are strong, and they can't, elites always love lecturing us, right? They love lecturing us on how we should make sacrifices, right? You should get rid of your Netflix, eh? Freeland said. You should do this, you should do that. Meanwhile, they're taking all these payouts and just living life, without any worries, right? Like,
it really helped build C4, right?
Yeah.
Inflation went up to 2.4% per month now, from 1.8.
Yeah, and they're sipping champagne in Davos.
That's a win, eh?
The only thing they're sacrificing is common sense. That's the only thing they're sacrificing. But they want us to sacrifice everything God put here for us and everything that we wish to have with our families.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is, it's broken. The system's broken. We have to change the system.
Canada's a submarine, right? With a screen door.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's already at the bottom. And I don't think it's got anywhere to go except...
It's sad because, you know what?
Drowning.
There was a lot of wonderful people that built this country, and they did have the right intentions. And they were trying to get away from that old system that you talked about, right?
Yeah.
Which is called...
Westminster system.
That's right. And
yeah.
And you know what? They fought to prevent it. And
the Americans did it.
Yeah.
They had a revolution over it. We don't have to have a revolution.
No.
I think we're more civilized than that, although we got some people in the news today burning people's garages down that support independent.
Yeah, well,
That's just ridiculous. And people...
That's hate.
We need... Well, yeah.
They should be jailed. I don't. If it was any side behaving foolish, you know
Yeah,
what?
absolutely.
Put them in jail. If it was someone on the independent side and they're acting silly, well, we're not going to support that either. We're not going to support chaos or people, harming property or each other. We're above that, like you said. It's 2026. Let's use our heads and let's bring back common sense. Pierre talks about it, but I haven't seen too much common sense out of him lately. I'm getting worried about him.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I'm just pointing out the fact that we got a lot of vandalism going on in ours, and we got a lot of immigration still happening. Still today in Alberta, they're not putting the skids on it.
25% is what they were paying, and we're paying double that now when you look at our wages at the grocery store, every aspect, right? Because we're getting taxed on everything. And this is what we need to change with the newest system. Like, Alberta produces so much money, we should be tax-free. When you buy a home and pay for the land, you shouldn't have to pay property tax every year. We make enough money off of the tobacco, the alcohol, the cannabis, all the,
Oil royalties.
Yeah, oil royalties. There's so many things that are bringing in money, but they're not disclosing what they're making because they're taking the money that they get and they're sending it other places. They get a kickback. Majority of politicians, hate to break it to you, but they're corrupt.
Right.
Their kid receives a condo here. If you looked into all of them, you look into, especially in Ontario and, back east, there's so much corruption. I don't want to call it all out today, but we will talk about more of that in upcoming episodes because we do have insight and we have seen things. I mean, Terry's been in the industry, in politics for how many years?
Since 1981.
Since 1981, right? And... I've worked many different jobs. I've worked with all these people as well. And
I got to let you know that I'm really encouraged by what I see. Because it's only in the last few years that people are waking up and realizing what's been going on since the early 60s has to come to an end, and it will. Whether we take control or we don't, it's going to collapse. And so we have to have something to put in its place. So we want to put a system into place where you're not taxed. They don't have the ability to tax your personal property. I find it ridiculous that I go build a house and then they tax me on something that I built and paid for. And then if I make an improvement on it, my taxes go up. It should go down for improving it, making the place look better, not up.
And if you're making it more eco-friendly, it should go down.
And if I need something in my community, the community should get together and decide what they mean, not a bunch of politicians that come up with, we need a bright idea what to do. Let's get a wave center put in. Some small boat downtown that doesn't need a wave center that's just going to go broke. Or a big train that's going to run from Montreal to Toronto that's going to cost billions of dollars that nobody can afford to use because they have to charge such high fares. They got their head in the clouds.
Yeah.
And they don't see what's really going on. So what I want to do is change the system. Change the system. Change the system. Like,
well,
if we don't change the system,
then none of it falls in place. You're right, and I know you've been going back to that with me a lot. It's a structure because I'm always about the health and the this and that, but everything I complain about,
that's absolutely
it's because
part
of the system.
Of it. It's because of the system.
Yeah. So you're right. If we can't change the system, all the things that I care about my kids and my grandkids and all the stuff. I don't have grandkids yet, but when I do, I want to make sure they're going to be safe. This is my motivation is for them.
Why, sure. You think I'm going to be around when that happens?
Well, I hope so.
Well, maybe I'll be resurrected.
Hey, if you keep living by the words of wisdom, you never know, right?
That's right. Okay, good. All right, so until the next time.
Until the next time, My Census Consensus on all socials. Any comments we will go over. We will talk about them live, good or bad. And you can email us directly, mycensusconsensus@gmail.com, and feel free to come on the show. We'll see you next time.
Elbows up, folks.